Special guest in studio tonight, Shalima Edwards and Daphne Lewis. So how you guys doing tonight?
Yes, sir.
Your mic. You get, make
So
sure.
thanks for life, and thank you all for having us on tonight with you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. Anytime.
Anytime,
How
anytime.
you feeling, Miss Daphne?
Okay, and I
Yes.
thank God for allowing us this opportunity to be online tonight.
Okay. Your mic on, Miss Daphne? Make sure it's pushed up all the way. Okay.
Okay, okay. So Shalima, tell us what's going on. OVILU and targeted members. Just kind of bring us up to date on what's been going on. Since you were here just a couple months ago, and I guess some things have changed. And
Right.
so let's talk about what has changed. Since you were here last time.
Right, definitely. The last time I was being very diplomatic or keeping my mouth tight because I was really hoping that the issue that existed at that time would have been resolved, and there wouldn't be a need for me to come here now
Right.
to share really what has been happening.
Okay.
So Daphne is here. She's also one of the members of our Virgin Islands Labor Union,
Okay.
and we received termination letters from the president of the union, Ricky Brown, and that was since June of this year.
Yes,
Right.
I actually saw that. We have a copy here, but it's too small. I can't really read it. At least the
Okay.
printed copy online. I did kind of skim through a little bit, but yeah. But go ahead a little. Go on there.
Right. So we responded after he sent us that letter, and we pointed out in the letter that we sent to him where showing him where he is wrong.
Right.
We quoted the section in the Constitution and bylaws as far as where it speaks of members who are not covered under a collective bargaining unit would have to pay a certain fee, which is $3 a month,
Right.
opposed to those who are in a collective bargaining unit. They pay a different fee or dues.
Right.
So since then, we didn't receive a response back from him, and in which, of course, we asked that he revoke his decision to terminate us.
Right.
And later in that month of July, actually in July, yes, I saw one of the deputies of the Representative Council, and that person is Terrence Positive Nelson. And I brought to his attention that I received a letter, and not only me, but several members also received letters from Mr. Brown terminating us, and he asked what was the reason he gave, and I told him he said that we are not in the collective bargaining unit,
Right.
so therefore we're no longer recognized as members. So Mr. Nelson said, well, no, that's totally wrong, that Mr. Brown is totally wrong. Anyone who wants to join OVILU, even if you're not in OVILU's collective bargaining unit, you could be a member of the union.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was good that he said that. So I shared to the other members who have been targeted what his response was. So we said, okay, well, let's invite him to meet with the rest of us. Let's
Right.
Nelson to meet with us, So I did
Did
send.
Mr. Brown offer to come and meet you all too at this meeting, or it was just you and Nelson and the group?
Just Nelson, because being that he's so tied to the union.
Okay, gotcha.
He's one of the co-founders of the union, and of course the first president of the union, and now currently he is a deputy of the Representative Council, which is the governing body of the union. And since he disagreed with what Mr. Brown said, so I said, well, we all said, okay, well, let's just invite him, so he could tell us what has he done since this issue was brought to his attention.
Right.
Unfortunately, he never did respond to the invitation, and we were actually hoping that same date that we scheduled the meeting that he would have showed up.
Right.
But one of the members actually saw him at another event, and he told that member that no, he's not coming to the meeting.
Without informing y'all.
Sorry?
Without informing y'all that he wasn't coming.
Right.
Okay.
No, right. No response from him. It just took that took that member who actually was at another function where he was at, that he saw him and asked, and
Right.
so he brought that to our attention, that member, and we're like, wow, so we said, okay, well, instead of just inviting him alone, let's invite all of the officers, to request that they meet with us to
Right.
hear our issue and ask that they revoke Mr. Brown's decision in the effort to keep this matter internally.
Well, let me ask
Otherwise,
you this too: can Mr. Brown go ahead and make a decision by himself without his other officers?
he should not, and even to the point where it deals with termination. If you're going to terminate someone, you have to give them due process.
Okay.
And that was clearly not done, so he just did it upon himself. He CC'd, he sent copies to the secretary and treasurer of the union, and that was it.
Okay.
So we then, as I said, we requested to meet with all the officers, even
Right.
with Mr. Brown, and that too, we didn't receive any response from them. And the very last date that we asked that they meet with us, that was August 21st.
Right.
I checked with everybody else. They know they didn't get any response from none of them. However, I did find out that same day when I was at an establishment. I saw an invitation on their counter, and it says, "Come to the campaign kickoff for Terrence Positive Nelson." And I'm like, "You're for real? Really?" So it just showed us, okay, well, hey, they really don't want to deal with this issue internally, so we have to move forward and bring it out to the public so the people could know really what happened and what we're going through right now. Because again, we tried to keep this thing internally, but when we sent out the press release, because we sent out a press release on I think it was the 29th of August,
Right.
informing the public, to the media, what took place. Days after that, then I learned that Nelson now wants to meet with us in an effort to hear what we have to say. So we met on September 1st, which was Labor Day.
Right.
This is a labor matter,
Right,
so we
so,
met,
yes,
on that day, and he wanted to hear what we have to say, but also he wanted to express his issues.
Right.
And issues pointing out to, well, he did receive the invitation, but because I sent it to him, he didn't want to respond. But it goes to show that, well, it wasn't just me who requested it, because several of the other members
Right.
signed the letter and said that, we would like you to meet with us. So what he said that he will do, if the rest of the deputies of the Representative Council come together, he will put his position on the floor and let them know that he disagrees with Mr. Brown. But I'd asked him, I said, well, I would suggest, rather than you wait, because he admitted that they are inactive, like they haven't been meeting anyway, that he speak to Ricky Brown himself and show him where he's wrong and encourage him to revoke his decision. So he was not in agreement with that. He felt that we should encourage the rest of the Representative Council members, and for the sake of knowing who these officers are, I'm just going to share who they are. Starting with the president, executive officers. Ricky Brown is the president. Then there's Jerry Marcel, who's the vice president. Terrence Morris, who's the secretary. Gregory Patty is a treasurer. And then for the Representative Council, deputies, there's the Terrence Nelson, Myrna Pickard, Orion Williams, Darius George, and Shane Green.
Okay.
So they make up the body. Again, we did put in the request to meet with them. So he's saying that, well, they're inactive, they don't meet. So it's for us to lobby them to meet.
Right.
But we sent out emails to several of them, letting them know that we really want to meet so that we could deal with this issue internally. Like, none of them responded to us. So with what he said, it's like, why should we have to beg them? Why should we have to lobby them? It's like, it's their responsibility,
yes.
To hear our issues and try to resolve this matter. So it was just there. He left it alone. He said, and then we went on I went on Alvin G News, Then he went on G News to give his response,
Right.
in which he stated that we have been waiting. We wait every 2 years when it's election to bring out issues concerning him. And clearly, I mean, June 2014, this year, we received a letter from the President Ricky Brown terminating our membership.
Right.
So it's not that we waited for election time to like affect his campaigning to bring this issue out. We did what we had to do,
Right.
and we felt we had no other choice but to just move forward with what we're doing. And then after that meeting, September 1st, a couple of days after, several of us received checks in the mail, and the checks reflect what? Refund. They said this is our refund for all the dues that we have paid and our membership fee. So we're like, no, we're not going to cash this, because
Right.
if we cash this, then we're
You're saying you
accepting
mean,
that
yes.
we agree we agree to be terminated.
Yes.
And we have our rights according to the bylaws. It's like if we want to terminate ourselves, we need to put in writing saying we no longer want to be a member of OVILU,
Okay.
and therefore we're terminated. So that went down. We did, yeah. So moving forward, we said taking it to the public, not just to the media. Now we really have to take this to the arena where a
Yes.
judge could make a decision, and it has to go there because what's important, and I'll ask Daphne to speak on it, because elections for OVILU is this year, December 2014.
Right.
And the issue back then with Mr. Brown was, well, members don't want to participate in the union and to be on the election committee and stuff like that. But Daphne and others did volunteer, and she could, elaborate on that.
My name is Daphne.
Close.
Pull the mic a little closer, Miss Daphne.
Yes, I since Mr. Brown was contemplating all the time that nobody wanted to be on the election committee, I decided to take up the task. So I wrote a letter, and I got 3 other persons to sign it, that we would like to be on the election committee. And we gave it to Mr. Brown. And we started processing, we got the books and everything. And I don't know if it's because Mr. Brown says moving forward, why he sent this letter, because Mr. Brown is the president for years, maybe around 7 years. 7 years. So I don't know.
All these positions are elected position: the president, the secretary, the treasurer, all of these.
The executive,
Okay. And
the president, vice president.
How often this election
Every
takes
2
place?
years.
Every 2 years.
Yes.
And we have not
Should
taken
be
place
every 2 years.
in
I
7
think.
years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it was 2005 or 2006 in which Mr. Brown was elected president. Now they're supposed to have elections every 2 years after that,
right?
And they didn't have it. So then when I learned that they weren't having regular elections, I did try to assist them in like, look, we need to get this thing going so that we, this union could be in good standing. After all, your bylaws says so. So much help wasn't happening. So I had no other choice at the time but to file a complaint with the U.S. Department of Labor, informing them that, well, this union has not been holding elections as they should.
Right.
So they then intervened, and in 2012, that's when elections took place. And the names that I read to you actually came up from the election committee flyer. So that shows who were elected. If they didn't have any challengers, they were just automatically
okay.
in that place.
Right.
So and that was in April that they were installed.
Of
So
this year?
2012.
Okay.
Yes. So
okay.
December 2012, an election was supposed to take place, because it's supposed to be December of the
2
election
years.
year.
Okay.
Exactly. So that didn't happen either. So it's like, okay, things are being stalled again and what have you. And so I filed another complaint with the U.S. Department of Labor, informing them, look, this union is not holding elections as they should,
Okay.
etc. So finally, it came to the point where the U.S. Department of Labor actually filed a suit against the union for failure of holding elections.
Okay.
And it was actually, I think this year, a settlement was rendered because they went to the court with this.
Uh-huh.
So the settlement was rendered outside of the court, being that the U.S. Department of Labor and OVILU officials came to an agreement, and the agreement is that they agreed to have the U.S. Department of Labor supervise their election. So the judge decided, okay, well, the case is dismissed because the parties have come to an agreement. So the agreement was this coming December 2014 will be the next scheduled election.
Okay.
So everything is happening in this year where the election committee with Daphne and others volunteered their time to assist with it.
Right.
And then, months after they received termination, I received termination letter. And then you wonder, why are we targeted? And let me also add to that, in asking Terrence Nelson, if he also received a termination letter from Ricky Brown, he said no. I said, aren't you in the same category as us? Are you a member of the collective bargaining unit? And he said no. So it's like, okay, well, why didn't you receive a termination letter?
Right.
You're in the same category as we are, and only us. So it makes someone wonder.
Yeah, it looks suspicious.
Exactly.
It looks very suspicious. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, just kind of go on.
So when you asked him about that, what was his response?
Nelson?
Yeah.
Well, his response was no, he didn't receive any termination letter from Mr. Brown, and that's when we,
Start the process.
he was exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So right now, where are you all at?
Well, at this moment, we are raising funds in the effort to take this to court so that we could receive an injunction at least so that the union could recognize us as members.
Okay.
But at this time, doing it, and the sad thing about it, we also received letters from the attorney, the union's attorney, and OVILU's attorney. So
Stating what?
stating that he's on the side with Mr. Brown, basically that he agreed, that we do not belong to a collective bargaining unit, and again pointing out to the bylaws showing Mr. Brown, and of course the letter was also sent to the attorney too, showing where in the bylaws we are supposed to be recognized. So the advantage is they have the advantage that the members' dues are paying this attorney, and who do we have to defend us? So that's why we are appealing to the public really now, because we need to raise funds, and the earlier that we could accomplish this goal, the better it be, because the
Right here too. Yeah, it's only about 3 months away now.
right. So Daphne, we're selling raffle tickets. You want to speak about that?
We are trying to raise some funds. Right now, we are selling some raffle tickets for $1 to raise money to pay the attorney, and we are asking the general public to help us, to support us, so that we can get the funds to go to court and let justice prevail.
So raffle tickets. So where do you get the ticket from, or do we have to see? Do you see the members to get tickets, or see you?
Well, Daphne, she has the tickets, but several of the targeted members also
Okay.
have
Tickets.
tickets. And actually, the drawing is on October 1st. Yeah, Fireburn Night is
Okay.
gonna be held at Yucca. The drawing is going to be there. So
Okay.
if you want to find us, likewise, you could contact us. But if you want to actually be there, to purchase it right there on the
Okay.
spot before the
Okay.
drawing,
Before the
which
drawing.
begins at 6:30 p.m., you're encouraged to do so.
To come down to Yucca.
That's a Wednesday, right? The first?
Yes.
That's a Wednesday.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Fire bun.
Yeah. So let me ask. I don't know if I was trying to do a few things here, but maybe this, you guys talked about this, but why do you think that this is going on? That you guys receive letters. I mean, what could their motive be here
Well,
by doing this?
I think the motive is that we are asking questions about the union, and that we want to see the election process, because Mr. Ricky Brown contemplating saying, oh, we cannot have an election because nobody want to go on the election committee. So that's why I took it up. I wrote a letter. I got 3 other persons to sign and said, we want to be on the election committee. We are going to do the election.
All these people that receive letters, y'all was still paying y'all dues on a regular basis?
Yes, everybody dues are up to date.
Okay. So it seemed like it was a personal thing then, or something. I don't know. I'm
Well,
just speculating. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a right to speculate, but Terrence Nelson, he said it publicly on the radio that he feels it's malicious, like we're being malicious, and it's an attack on at him. What happened is several years ago, it was brought to our attention that he is signing checks for OVILU, and at the time he was not authorized as president or treasurer or secretary to sign checks for OVILU, and so that was brought to his attention. It was like he was denying as far as meeting with us to like, hey, resolve this issue.
Right.
And that could be one of the reasons. No, let me also add that finally, several years ago, with the activism of members, and that's the key, members need to be active. So several members have since been very active, going to the meetings regularly, willing to assist in, getting things in place and stuff. And one of the questions that needed to be resolved was, okay, so why was he signing checks? What was the purpose of him signing checks? So finally, Mr. Brown allowed me and another member to come in to the union office to review the checks, to see what the checks were paid out to. Unfortunately, the signature part of it were blocked out, so it doesn't show who signed the check. And
You blacked out like with a magic marker?
A black marker. It was,
Yeah.
So I invite you
blocked.
to come in and know that these things are in place. So
Right.
Okay.
So those are copies of the canceled checks, right?
Is that what they normally do?
Well, that's a big question. I mean,
Okay.
when that took place, I said, you know what? Let me just take my notes, but I will do a follow up. And I did point out to Mr. Brown that if you really want to build trust and transparency in the union, then you need to be more open.
Yes.
Because in one way, you said that you had no other choice but to have Terrence Nelson sign the checks. But then it's like, okay, when you were here to see it, you're just blocking off who signed it. Now, let me just add to it. The reason why he said he had to allow Terrence Nelson to sign the checks was because Terrence Morris, the secretary, was not making himself available to sign the checks. So he said he had no other choice.
So let me ask you this: isn't there by law that if a committee member is not in standing, isn't there a process to get rid of that person or whatever the case may be? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Well, to get rid of anyone, there must be a trial committee.
Right.
You have, again, that's due process. Due process.
Okay.
So,
And let me also ask you too: is these checks require two signatures, or just one is sufficient enough to be for that check to be mailed out?
two signatures.
Okay, so who was the other person that was signing it?
Well, that's the big question.
Okay, so
that was
that-
blocked out, but there was one check that was in another location, because I was trying to follow the sequence, make sure it's in order. So I'm like, okay, one of the checks are missing, So he like, okay, he remembers where he put it. So he put it out the drawer, and it's void. It says void, right? But the signature part bears his name, Ricky Brown, and Terrence Morris. So mind you, he told us he had no other choice but to have Terrence Nelson sign the checks because Terrence
But
Morris was not making himself available. But, why then is the check showing
Signed by
Terrence
him.
Morris?
Yeah.
Would it show if he showed us those other checks, reveal the names, would it show Terrence Morris all along? So it's questioned.
Yeah, there's a lot
so
of
I
questions.
guess you being a member, you want transparency in the organization to build trust and
Trust,
stuff
yes,
like that.
yes.
Maybe that could be one of the reasons why they really don't want us to be a part of the union.
So has that area being blacked out always been that way? I mean, if you went back to 2010, would they have that area blacked out as well?
Well, I don't know. I was just fortunate that he allowed us
To
to
see.
see it, because several members, we have been meeting over a period of time trying to resolve issues
Okay.
internally back then years ago. And so then to move forward, they say, okay, well, show the checks then. Show the checks, and so I can feel comfortable that we could move forward.
Okay.
So
okay.
when we went again, those checks, the signature part, were all blacked out.
Interesting. So I don't know. Maybe they're hiding something. Maybe they're not.
So right now, the account and the dues are still being picked up on a regular basis and everything like that.
Well, as far as members in the collective bargaining unit, what happens to those is that it would automatically come out of their checks. Oh, rather, come out of their pay.
Oh, their
And-
payroll.
right.
Okay.
So those who are not in the collective bargaining unit, which we are, we would have to voluntarily, pay it,
every
whether
2
you
weeks.
send money order or go to the office and pay cash or what have your check.
Right.
You can do so, but they're not accepting that because they send us termination
So
letters. So
notices.
Oh, so you're not
they send
accepting
us
new.
a refund.
So they're not accepting new members at all.
Well, that's a good question to ask.
So if I went there tomorrow and said I want to join,
I would encourage you to do
Okay.
to go
Just to
and
see what-
ask, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the unfortunate thing about it, like when I was on a month ago or what have you, is the foundation of our Virgin Islands Labor Union came from this great union, St. Croix Labor Union.
Yes, yes.
And all that I want and several members want to see is that this modern day local union, exemplify what St. Croix Labor Union
is about.
is about. And I'll just share some of the purposes, or the purpose that's outlined in OVILU's constitution, so at least you could get an idea of how great this union can be
Okay.
if it's really active and stuff.
Yes.
It says to secure by legal means the most favorable working conditions and wages for its members,
Right.
to purchase land and parcel it out with a view that the members shall eventually be the owners in fee simple absolute, to advocate legislation for the benefit of the members, to organize an alliance against unjust labor practices,
Okay.
to create after-school learning resource art centers, to create recreational activities and facilities.
Subreddit,
Right.
Shalima.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, and is any of these things in place at this present time?
No, it's not.
And money are being collected on a daily and on a weekly basis.
Right. You see, if the members or the people now, aren't aware of this, then this is just going to remain in writing.
Just in writing.
Yeah, it's just gonna look. It's just
Look
going
and
to
sound
look good.
good.
Exactly. But we have been very much committed to see to it that the dream or the legacy of what David Hamilton Jackson and others of St. Croix Labor Union did for us here, be a reality
Yes.
with this
Yes.
local union today.
It sounds like a great movement. It sounds like something that all of us need to jump into. You know what I mean? But
I wanted to ask you too. You mentioned refunds. So you got you got all your money back, or just what?
Well, we send the checks with the monies. They send the check with the amount of money that we paid in.
Okay.
from the time you joined to this present
Time
time.
we joined.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that needs to be justified,
Defied,
you
yeah.
know. So
yes, yes.
I would say that it needs to be justified
Yeah.
as well.
So y'all gonna make sure this battle continue. You're not gonna drop the ball on them at all. Y'all gonna continue
No,
the
we're not
pressure
gonna
on.
drop the ball. We will be going to the end until we get justice, because Positive Nelson, he went on radio and he said this union is for anybody. Anyone can join this union.
Right.
You do not have to be in a bargaining unit, and lots of people heard it. Lots of people asked, and it was the same answer. And some people we invited to the union meeting, they asked Mr. Ricky Brown in front of us. He said, anyone can join. And that is it. So I don't know what happened now. I guess it's because we're asking too many questions. Because Mr. Ricky Brown, he's the sole man there as president. He doesn't have a vice president active. And I always ask him, I said, where is your executive body?
Right.
No treasurer, no secretary comes to meeting. What happened? And he said, oh, I'm busy and everything, have lots of work to do. I said, your executive body should be there to help you. And then some members complain about grievances. And Mr. Ricky Brown is telling them he's too busy. You know, he have lots of work to do and he never go to find out what happened. And then some members in St. Thomas even complain that they complained to Mr. Ricky Brown about things about their supervisor. And Mr. Ricky Brown would come over and go straight to the authority, the supervisor, and without involving them. And then when they look, Mr. Ricky Brown and the supervisor gone, jump in the car and gone. Leave them right there without letting them know what happened. And we feel, right now, I'm so embarrassed about that because we work hard and encourage these people to join the union.
How long have you been a member?
Well, I am being a member, I think it's from 2006 or 2007.
Okay, so it's quite so many years,
A long time.
Yeah.
And I am always asking Mr. Brown, you have different committees. Oh, be on one of those committees. I said, I cannot be on the committee because I don't know what's the function of the committee. They have committees, but what's the function? No function. Mr. Ricky Brown does not even have a secretary. Just here alone in the office. I don't know what happened.
So if I go there tomorrow morning, I will find Mr. Ricky Brown in this office?
I don't know. You got to call.
Okay.
Yes, I would definitely encourage you to call or just go and see.
Go and
you
see.
know.
Go and knock and see.
Yeah, I might.
But I cannot understand an organization with just one man, a one-man band. I always tell him, you're one person. This organization.
So where are the rest elected members? That's what's puzzling me.
He's executive. Oh, I think the treasurer is in the States for over a year now. So I don't know how he signs checks and he's away.
Well, for right now, we have the secretary, Terrence Morris. Now, as far as being in the office, there should be an administrative secretary. There's no one there. But I made the observation that when it comes to signing checks, Mr. Terrence Morris makes himself available to sign checks, but to come into the meetings, he's always absent.
Okay.
Okay. And the rest of the officers, most of the time, are absent. I think the most who have actually showed up, but that was probably a year ago or so, Terrence Nelson, Myrna Pickard. But to say that it's consistent,
right?
Yeah.
No, it's not
So
consistent.
is there a set date and a set time for a meeting of the union every month?
Thursday of the month.
Okay.
At 6:00 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been a member?
Well, just about the same time with Daphne, and to even add to that, when I learned that about OVILU, I really appreciated to know that we do have a local union here.
Yeah.
Our dues could actually stay here. The officers are right here on island, so we don't have to catch a plane to go on the United States mainland to meet the officers. So that was a great thing. And then what was a major plus is when I learned that the foundation of OVILU came from St. Croix Labor Union. I said, wow, awesome, So this is an organization I want to be a part of since, it was told to me that I could actually be a member. I've been voluntarily paying my dues, to maintain being a member in good standing, going to the meetings regularly.
Do the meetings have a lot of people that show up?
No, unfortunately, no. And, that is a struggle. Where when you have like about 900 members, they said there's about 300 members in good standing. But likewise, there are members in St. Thomas and St. John in which meetings supposed to be taking place over there.
In both places, right.
Okay.
So,
So, if you wanted a loan now from OVILU,
Sorry.
If you wanted a loan, like how you could have go back and get like a loan because you're paying into this union. Can you get a loan from the union that you're paying into your dues into?
Well, there isn't anything that says about loan other than, and that's one of the points in the purpose for OVILU. It says to create credit unions, okay, and to do all things necessary to ensure the financial, economic, and social well-being of our members and the Virgin Islands community. So if there was a credit union, that's a financial institution where, members could actually get loans. But again, it's not in existence, it's just in writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you were kind of asking if you just went to the local office here and maybe filled out a loan application. So they'd have to create an actual credit union, and it had to be FDIC.
Financial institution.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But that's supposed to be happening.
It's supposed to happen.
Is it?
Supposed to happen.
Where are we at on that part of it? I mean, are we looking into that, or is it just something in writing and that's it?
It's just in writing, and then there are several committees that once the members especially get involved to really activate things to make it happen, then things like that would happen.
So we have a gold mine sitting on and we just playing around with it.
Right. And just keep in mind, right, it shouldn't just be a one person vision, or as Nelson had told us, this is his baby, but hello, the baby needs to grow up, okay? And you need like a village to raise a child.
Yes.
So the village are the people, and the child is OVILU, and we need to see to it that OVILU grows for the intention that it was created for, and it's like, see the bigger picture. You said it's for the people of the community, then let's make it a reality.
So Shalima, is dues being collected every payday for this union still? Dues are being collected from members?
But dues, to the best of my knowledge, are, because several of the departments, Daphne, you want to mention who the departments are?
Department of Labor, Department of Agriculture, Department of Public Works, and Department of Justice in St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John.
So this is payroll deduction.
Payroll deduction.
Okay. So
those departments, we encourage those people to join.
Right.
Because before, OVILU had Triangle, and Triangle has gone. So if we didn't have these other departments, they would not have had anything going.
And to add to what Daphne said, like during the time when we just joined OVILU,
right.
That's what we were doing. Okay, we were encouraging those members who were in another union, the specific union that case was UIW-SIU,
yes.
right?
Okay.
Who also were disgruntled, and they didn't see where their monies are actually going to a place to benefit them. If you want to meet those officers, you have to go on a plane and meet the president and stuff. So it's like Daphne and several of us, Ras Herman, we decided, and Sunshine, several members. So we created an organization at the time, was Union Members in Action, for the purpose of educating the members of their rights, letting them know what the responsibilities of their the union officials are,
right.
and most importantly, encouraging them to keep their union dues here, locally. So for all those years, that's what we have been doing. And then when it was brought to our attention, the departments that Daphne just mentioned, those members did see the need and got the will to decertify that UIW-SRU union and joined this local union. Several months after that, they started to complain and share some of their concerns to us.
Right.
So we, in effort to keep this keep the members in OVILU, we tried to meet with Mr. Brown and other officials, to hear what's going on.
Right.
And for a while, months after, it's like we were being ignored at the time, and it's like ever since, it's just been stormy weather for the most part.
Right. Hey, what's disheartening to me is that I'm paying my dues every 2 weeks, and you can't give me no justification of where my money is at, what's going on. I mean, that's just real. we ain't millionaires out here. You know what I mean? We all have it hard. And today, to take $5 out of my check every 2 weeks or every week, or however often y'all make y'all dues, and nobody could give you an answer, that's like a slap in the face. So I think we really need to press the issue straight up. Because if it was reversal, they would have do the same thing.
Exactly.
I really
Fighting
think
for
so.
justice,
You know what I'm
fighting
saying?
for their rights,
Yeah.
they would do the same
I
thing.
really think so. So
If I could ask too, on the refund that they gave you guys get any interest on that? Or is it
Not
just
to my knowledge, so we'll have to, again, that needs to be justified.
okay?
You said you're going to send us a check and this is the amount, show us a justification.
yeah, but I
Right.
mean, still as y'all said, don't change it, because if y'all do, you'll be like
Right, exactly. We'll be
terminating-
acknowledging that,
yeah, you're terminating your membership and everything else to go along
Right.
with that.
So, time is of essence.
Okay.
And it's like June, this letter was sent to us, and we're now in September going to October, and December is right
Right
around
here.
the corner.
Right corner, yeah.
You know?
For our next election will haven't
Exactly.
taken place in how long has the election been? Since 2006?
No, 2012, since the Department of Labor was,
Stepped in.
stepped in, you know?
Okay.
Right.
So now this year will be the first year that Labor will be overseeing the elections.
It would actually be the second year.
The second year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, we have no other choice. As we said, we tried to deal with this issue internally. Now we're bringing it to the public's attention, but we really need this matter to be resolved.
So is your paying dues members on the same boat where you all are agreeing that y'all need to go forward with this issue? Because if you don't have the whole membership with you, then it gonna stall somewhere along the line.
Well, for the most part, several of the members, they kind of like was shocked that took place.
Right.
And they are seeing where it's obvious that, okay, well, we have been going to the meetings regularly, and now getting us out of the union, things will just remain the same. So they're seeing that, there's a conspiracy or play is happening, and we're encouraging them, just stay fast. This is a great union.
Right.
It's just that, individuals who are in positions to really help this union, hey, a change needs to happen. So we are even appealing to the other members of OVILU, to lend us their support as well.
Right.
Because helping us is a help for them too. It's time that we make what's in here a reality, in the bylaws of OVILU a reality, and it's to benefit us, all of us, the
Right.
whole entire Virgin Islands.
Could you explain something to me about the you said some of the members are standing, the word you use, I can't remember it right now. The bargaining, the collective bargaining. How do you become a member to become a part of the collective bargaining, as someone's not?
Okay, like in the case with Department of Justice, Agriculture and Public Works, they had to decertify from whatever union they belong to.
Okay.
So once the decertification took place, then they have to certify. They have to certify or get certified for a new union.
Okay.
So you have to decertify the union that you are in order to be, or you could elect to have OVILU, for example, to be your new union.
Okay, I got you.
So it's a decertification, then certification process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Definitely. So, and what I shared the last time I was here, that too is the DVD, the St. Croix Labor Union still exists.
Right.
That's gonna help towards the funds that we're raising, and it's just $3. And I hope y'all had gotten a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of names are there, and it could be a relative of yours who are actually a member of St. Croix Labor Union.
Right.
Yeah.
And to know that this local union, our Virgin Islands Labor Union, has a foundation, mirrored the foundation of St. Croix Labor Union. That should mean something. And it's like we have to fight for our people.
Definitely.
Really.
So put your last pitch on just bring it back home to us again, and
Yeah, talk about the raffle that you're having. Make sure that the date, the time, and all that stuff is there, so people know where to go.
who we could call to
who they can call to get tickets, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. The raffle drawing date is October 1st, and that is going to be on Fire Burn Day, officially known as Contract Day. It's going to take place down at Yuka's Kitchen. The drawing is at 6:30 p.m., but you can be there earlier so that you can purchase your ticket. The ticket is $1 each. You can get a book for $10. The prizes are a fruit basket, and we're going local, so
Okay, that's
local
important.
fruit
That's
basket. And second prize would be a plate of food from Yuka's Kitchen.
Okay.
That's one of the things that we're doing. And again, the DVD that I have there, St. Croix Labor Union,
Right.
still exists. It's just $3. I think it's worth having that. And
give us your number where we could reach you for the DVD.
yes, my number is 643-7599. Daphne's number.
203336.
And
Repeat yours for me, Shalima, again.
my own is 643-7599.
Okay.
My number is 220-3336.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else you want to mention?
Yes.
Just
So that anyone who's interested in learning about why we're doing what we're doing, we did create a website. It's OVILU targetedmembers.webs.com.
okay.
So you
I think
can
I saw
check
that
it out.
somewhere.
Right. So at least you could know.
So you
what
actually have
took
all the
place.
members listed there? You have all the members on the site?
Who have been targeted?
Yes.
Not so far. I just have the letter that Mr. Brown sent to me, but we're going to update it.
Okay.
With more
Which is
information.
this letter here? I guess. Yeah, I guess I saw it. OVILU targeted members.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I did see that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any last words, Daphne?
I would like to ask the general public to support us, to buy the raffle tickets, or if they want to donate something to help us with attorney fees, so that we can accomplish this and provide justice for all of us.
I wanted to ask a question too. You talk about attorney fees. So they have their attorneys, and you guys have to find your own. So you found somebody outside.
We have to get our
yes.
own attorney.
Yeah, I mean-
Outside.
Outside, and so I mean, is this going to be like thousands of dollars to
Yes, we have to pay
In the
dollars,
thousand range,
that-
in
yes.
a thousand range? Okay,
Yes.
okay, and that's probably just to get started, just
Just-
to get
yeah,
probably
exactly.
the first court appearance
Exactly.
and the first arguments, I guess.
So we are at the disadvantage. The union officials are at their advantage with
Okay,
So
Okay.
that's why we really are appealing to the public to help us with this matter, because again, this is a great union. It just needs to be in the right hand.
Are there any attorneys that are a member of the union that you could, maybe they could do it for half price or do it for free? I mean, do you?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay,
But we are. There's one that's interested, but we're not going to mention who the attorney
Right.
is
Okay.
at this point until we
Oh,
for
definitely
sure.
have
Yes.
to secure that attorney.
okay, okay.
Do you have to have an attorney that knows special labor laws, or just a kind of?
Well, that would be great. But in the area where we are fitting, where we fit as non-collective bargaining unit, then it's just a matter of identifying what's stated in the
Okay.
bylaws.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So that would be great. But I think
So
any
you
attorney
see
does.
somebody just basically to interpret what the law says, in a sense.
Right, according to the Constitution
Constitution.
and bylaws,
Yeah.
and the history of us being members for years.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that's it. I think any final words, anything?
Just thank you. Thank you for having us on.
Okay.
And we'll definitely try to keep you informed as far as where we're at, and hopefully, after the drawing, the raffle drawing, and
Okay.
we pray that we are successful in that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I wish you must.
As promised, I'm gonna have this on YouTube by about 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's sort of the cutoff date. So everybody, and then everybody will be able to see this that isn't able to see it tonight. To be able to catch us through Facebook. But I want to thank you guys for coming out, Shalima Edwards and Daphne Lewis. Daphne Lewis is a targeted member of the OVILU labor union. I think she's mad. Sounds like she's very mad and doesn't understand why. And Shalima just kind of brought us up to date as to what's going on with the labor union. They're having a raffle October 1st. Yucca and West. Fire One Day, Wednesday, October 1st. Come on down and support it.
And only $1. It's only $1.
It's only $1.
Yeah,
so definitely for a good cause, because we all need labor unions. I mean, you can't really, not work without one in a sense. That's who protects you.
Yep.
That's who protects the people
The
that
rights,
work,
the
the
rights of the
laborers.
people.
That's who protects the laborers. Thank you guys for coming out. And when things change again, just give me a call. We'll just put you on the schedule.
Anytime you're ready again,
Just put us on the schedule.
Call us and we.
We'll definitely hook that up.
Thank you again.
Okay. Thank you, guest tonight. This is the HR Perspective Talk Show. It's Wednesday, 8